YouTube, there's always some ad talking about Cure HSV, which I think is the herpes virus, because I have a friend who, has had a life change and, revealed to me that he had gotten genital herpes. But in as much as he told me, I'm not sure that he told his new lover. Uh, so, I had talked to him about, like, the medications that we know, like people like, um, there's some celebrities who were discovered to have certain prescriptions. I guess I won't name names. If you Google search it, you'll find out. But I, yeah, just because I've talked about certain things, or sometimes I'm around people with certain kinds of accents, and I'm always shocked that my phone integrates that information into my YouTube journey. In any case, we are moisturized, right? We put on this e.l.f. 50 milligram CBD eye cream. It's a soothing and reviving eye cream, right? Following our friend Wayne Goss and telling us to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We also added this Sephora CC eye cream and concealer. It has a little bit of color, but not that much. And we are very hydrated and prepped. We could mist our face with a little water, but I think we'll skip that. Just to set the vibe, we had gotten this really adorable Michael Kors Glam Jasmine fragrance over the holiday, and it's so pleasant. We're just gonna go to the gym and make a salad, I think. So it's nothing crazy today. We're lucky enough to not be, you know, uh, damned. So, damp brush, scrubba scrubba, right? And thankfully, this palette has a mirror. Is it a palette? If it's only one product, I'm not sure. But, getting that into our brows and brushing up and out, not straight up, because that would be a different vibe, but just sort of fluffing up the brow to give you as much brow volume as you possibly can have. When I've worked on set, I've definitely had occasion where before I knew it, the makeup artist was brushing my brows and trimming my brows. And I don't know if this is a moment where we want to lose any brow, right? We want to have as much brow as possible and not necessarily trim it or cut it or anything. If anything, we're trying to draw in more brow. But the brow lamination, there's apparently a new product, I believe, either from e.l.f. or NYX, which is it's a kind of heavier duty brow pomade. This is a little bit flexible, and maybe if you kind of use the back of the applicator to press it down, it'll dry down in a way that'll give you more volume, but who can say? We're just getting in the game here, and we're trying to get on to our other tasks today because we certainly have a lot of things to do. Um, but I was scrolling through social media last night, and I was very surprised that one of my colleagues had posted a, just something that was being shared around, like post your favorite movie that you watched several times. And I think it's such an odd thing in these days and times for this person to, a woman, a young, not woman of color, to have posted that one of her repeat viewed movies is Gone with the Wind, right? Which this is an Essence eyebrow designer in the color brown, just adding a little something to these sparse areas. But it did explain a lot because this is someone who has treated, women of color and especially Black women at work like they were disposable, like they were there to be like toyed with and disposed of because, she's the main character. So, things were certainly revealed with that choice. Not that it's not a good movie, an interesting movie on different levels, but for this person to say it, I felt like secrets were revealed. This brow product may not be the right one if you've gotten your brows wet. We're not someone who suffers with sparse brows, so we may leave it where we found it. But Wayne Goss, our friend, had suggested taking eyeshadow primer. This is a white one from NYX, and then adding it to a cream foundation, right? This is the Maybelline Super Stay in the color Porcelain, which is quite pale. But maybe let's experiment with it, because if we're going with white, why not go with something pale? So what are we doing? Are we getting a brush together to smush this into our eyelid area? What is the right brush choice? We certainly have more choices over here. But, you know, how are you today? How's your February? It's Black History Month. It's, you know, it's an exciting time to be involved with media and social media. Here's a brush. It's actually a powder brush. Should we violate and use it, or should we use one of these? It's a Morphe E46. That certainly does seem dense. Maybe let's try that. You know, like, this is the year. We're gonna not save our brushes. We're gonna use our brushes, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna see what they can deliver, and if it's not the right choice, so be it, but we're not going to be shy. I guess we will, should we dampen the brush? I think so. Dampen our brush, shake off any excess water. We have our tissue here from the other day. We were applying the Nikita palette from Morphe with some crumpled tissue paper so that we could hopefully keep the kind of duochrome, dual color aspect of some of the color choices. So this is the cream foundation from Maybelline. It does have its own applicator, but then this is the eyeshadow eye primer, right? In Blanc white to make your eyeshadow more vivid. Eyeshadow base. So eyeshadow base mixed with cream foundation on the lid. Here we go. Right? Dance that across. Ooh. that definitely is a saturated moment. I'm a little scared, but you know, he suggested getting it on the eyelid and under the eyelid, right? Sometimes we keep colors around that aren't necessarily our color, but that give us strong color payoff, right? So if we were looking to prime, this is it right here. This is prime, and almost in a, what do you call it? Special effects makeup kind of way. Just getting our trusty Daiso cosmetic mirror, which I love so much. It has 2 different sizes of mirror. Can't go wrong. And it doesn't just have 2 different kinds of mirrors. It doesn't just have 2. It has ones that one magnifies, and you know, you can't trust every mirror, because certainly dollar store mirrors that I've given away, there's sometimes a lot of you know, kind of fails. Mirrors that don't really magnify, mirrors that don't really let you see yourself. But since we have foundation in this combination of products and we still have some left on our brush, let's take it into, I guess, our highlighting places on the chin, on the forehead, because we don't need it as, what do you call it? Thickly applied, because that's just going to give us texture in the eye area. But, you know, certainly we're starting off strong today. Can't say that we're not seeing. We certainly have taken care of the nostril area. Maybe put a little on the Cupid's bow, right? The people who say extend highlighter out from the mouth, right? Lift the face here, 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 right? We've certainly done something to transform our face, but we're trying to focus on what? Eyeshadow. Okay, so if this is on, keep this palette at the ready, or this mirror at the ready. We're going to get into this I guess it means Generation Nude Natural Oasis eyeshadow palette from our friends at Bare Minerals, right? This is a conservative palette. It certainly has tans and browns, but it's got some really exciting a shimmery purple, and then a very pretty green. I'm very yellow orange, so I tend to look kind of delicious in greens of whatever color. So let's try to, I did actually wash this brush. Wonder if I got paint on it, because as many times as I wash it, it doesn't really come clean. But we just want to get this sandy beach color, which is, maybe we won't do that since it's a shimmer. Let's work with papaya and get that across the lid. I just did watch our friend Wayne Goss do what he called a hooded eye tutorial. That's a quality palette. So opening it up, looking at our eyes, taking our mystery brush, getting it into this color, which is a very, let us establish a powder that hopefully locks in this product and keeps it from creasing. And I guess draw a little bit of it under the eye, similarly, to eliminate any creasing. Right? We're really going for it today. We're thinking about extending the shape up and out toward the tail end of that brow, right? We're not being shy. This is not a bare-faced look. This is not a, I've got nothing on my face. This is a, let's get a face on, other side, and really let this new palette show us what it's all about, right? You want to hold your brushes from as close to the end as you can in order to have control. And really just take this as a moment where you're appreciating yourself, your skin prep, your good sleep, your exercise, your healthy eating habits. You know, maybe you're giving yourself some grace to have some fun stuff too, whether that's pizza or some, you know, whatever to you is good, enjoyable food. I've actually been loving this root beer kombucha. Baby, it's only like under 100 calories, but you cannot tell me it's not root beer. It's so good. And apparently the same company makes cream soda, which I haven't seen. The cola was fine, but the root beer is, to me, everything. So another little dab just to work out any creasing. Same over here. But we created a shape and a shadow around our eye that's lifted and is not the color that we started with from that foundation and that powder. So from here, you want to take, I guess, this darker, trying to hurry, believe it or not, right? Lifting the eye, pat, pat, pat. It's not so much about circles when you have a hooded eye, but it's about patting and establishing that color. So already you have established a sculpture, a shape, right? Opening and closing that eye and really thinking about where you're landing. And the blend is kind of official. I'm kind of impressed, Bared Minerals. Other side. So outside corner into a V, right? If you look at makeup tutorials from like the 70s or 80s, like there's one done by, I think she was either model or a Playboy bunny. She was talking about the outer V because that's how you create drama. And again, you're never ugly without makeup. It's really just about a cultural stylization of what beauty and femininity looks like. That's why, you know, when people make gender choices, whether they're performing or doing drag, you know, feminine has developed. I'm not saying they're essential, but femininity has developed certain markers, right? That dramatic, almost suggestion of a cat eye shape, which is not the same as when your face is bare and has no eyeshadow or anything on. But I think even this, over and above where we started, right? A very gentle shape that lifts, that leaves that brow arch bare, that we can, you know, kind of take a moment to darken up the crease above our natural crease, right? Because we are a hooded eye person, right? Back up your mirror some distance and then just darken that. drag color under your eye, you're actually kind of buying some real estate, making the eye seem relatively larger in comparison to the rest of the face, right? You're either horizontally or vertically expanding your eye. Your eye's in there, but by drawing these shapes and shadows around the eye, you're making it seem bigger and more dramatic, right? Lifted into a form that wasn't, it's not that it wasn't there, but it wasn't so apparent to the eye. And I think if we left the house with just this much eyeshadow on, it would look pretty, and it would definitely look. What you want to do as a hooded eye person is actually to take a shimmer and put it on the inner 2/3 of your eye. So if we've highlighted our inner corner with this sandy beach color, and we built our base with papaya, emphasize the outer corner with very pretty corner, right? We definitely look like we've got makeup on, but let's get into this Shirley color. This palette also has its own mirror. Hooray for that. These seem very wet. Oh, what a surprise. And then we want to, this is the logic of doing eye makeup before the rest, because there may be fallout, there may not, but you want to stamp this shimmer, and that's so nice. It does flatter the other shades that we've set down before. We want to create light in the inner 2/3 of the eye. Now, you may want to pat that in, not rub. Doesn't seem to need any kind of like primer, but then you want to kind of fade it out as you head toward the deeper tones of the eye. Maybe make sure the center of the lid has enough color payoff, right? This is supposed to bring light into the inner corner of your very hooded eye, right? The center is where the halo eye happens, but as a hooded eye person, the theory is that we can use all the light that we can get on the inner 2/3 of our eyes. That looks very pretty. You know, we can also think about using a brush to fade out some of the shadow we've placed in the outer third of the eye, and then we are augmenting the lightness of that inner corner highlight with this shimmer shade from the Lime Crime palette. I kind of recall there was some kind of controversy about Lime Crime. I can't recall what it was. Certainly, you know, my quarantine was a blur of really watching a lot of media, whether that was, you know, sort of getting in on beauty channel drama and tutorials and all of that kind of thing. But I think that we've given ourselves a satisfactorily bright and eye-catching inner corner 2/3 of, I don't know, do you call it shimmer? Do you call it glitter? Do you call it, I'm not sure, but I think it looks quite nice. So from here, let's put our little plastic back inside, and let's think about any kind of, you know, blending or cleanup that we might do, right? It's about that marriage between the shimmer shade on the inner 2/3 and the darker shades that we put on the outer third. We're going to grab this fluffy brush from Jeffree Star and Morphe. Quarantine gifted us with these brushes very cheap because, you know, people get themselves in trouble. So we could use the clean brush and just, you know, hold the end and kind of fade out the edges of the darker, more matte shadows, right? Rub out any creasing. Same underneath the eye, making sure that our eye is emphasized. But yeah, I don't know. Some people seem to, like with Carhartt right now, if they object to the behavior or politics of a brand. They want to damage and destroy and throw out. Whereas, you know, if Morphe was throwing these into the bin, as it were, I was happy to snap them up for, you know, a few dollars because, you know, as a newer person to wearing a lot of makeup, certainly we wear makeup in our work, and as women, we grow up wearing makeup, but, you know, sort of thinking about, and now I'm just sort of blending out that line of demarcation between the mattes and the shimmers on that middle to outer third, right? Just so it's not such a harsh demarcation, so it won't look like we put on our makeup in an elevator or a bathroom stall, right? But I think that looks quite pretty. Definitely put us in the game, right? Me likey. Anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, Jeffree Star, I have mixed feelings, but you can't deny the expertise. We don't live in a world where we have the luxury of having a lot of people who are pure angels. So what can we do? So from here, I think the moment is a contour moment. You know, this combination of primer, this combination of primer and what is it called? Cream foundation has left some very strange texture on our face that hopefully we can cover up with other makeup. So using a cream contour. Is this the darkest shade of the, I think it is, the Bronzed Belle from e.l.f. So cheap, so good, right? What kind of tiny brush can we use? I don't remember what I used this for. I guess we used this for our combination of eyeshadow base and cream foundation. Maybe we can wipe this guy off. We do have gadgets somewhere that are for cleaning brushes. Now where they are, I'm not sure. Maybe they're over here. Is this what this is? Yes, it's a Breakup Brush Dry Cleaner. I think this is from, yes, our friends at Daiso, because you'll see the lettering in Japanese that we can't read. But the idea is that you open this bad boy up, you take your used brush and wipe it on this black spongy surface. This thing is washable, right? There's also some other plastic surfaces over here just to get that, I guess, the worst of what's on your brush off. And this is a Morphe E46. And now let's mess around. I wonder if we should use, instead of a brush, maybe we'll save the brush for some powder product to lock it in, but we can go back to our favorite, almost like a flexible finger, silicone sponge. Get into this putty bronzer and think about where we want to be in terms of contour, right? Is this picking this up in a satisfying way? I'm not sure. So that theory about getting it on your jaw where your teeth might be touched through your face, right? And kind of building it up from there, right? Really let the color show. Same on the other side. Up. And you can see your actual cheekbone shape from there, but you know, there are these little tricks that are meant to guide us and assist us in building up our our combinations of colors and shapes in a way that's flattering and at an angle that lifts the face, always lifts the face into the hairline. The theory is to, don't mind my stomach growling, I have to go make a kale salad. But yeah, you know, when I'm off from work, I try to like get into my, you know, makeup and get into, you know, having some tutorials happen. I was watching Drag Race clips on YouTube and I was watching how seriously, right? Like I think sometimes when you contour your jawline, you're like, oh, this looks so crazy. But when you watch Drag Race, oh baby, the lines are there and it looks good. So it definitely is empowering because it just makes you feel less shy about, you know, really drawing this stuff on, like really, really getting in there. So, drawing lines along the nose. I'd gotten my makeup done professionally in December for a music video shoot, and I was a little startled by how stark the lines are. I've fallen down. I'm just using my finger. You know, just very stark, very sharp lines on my nose. But in photographs, oh, it looked so good. It just looked amazing, right? So you're trying to take that shape that you started by putting that pale color down your nose, take it to the next level by painting on two lines that make that stand out. And you know, what's not good about this sponge is it seems to have an edge on it that drags product, maybe in places where you don't necessarily want it. But you know, we live and learn. And if things disappoint us, we can always get rid of them and get new ones. You know, you always have other products at the ready. You know, maybe this is the one that lives in your purse and it's not your A1. But this thing served. It really did serve, and it really got me into using silicone sponges. You know, certainly I have other ones, but I do like this one because it's nice and squishy and soft. The other thing you can do with them, when my nails grow back from using those terrible ass acrylics and glue that utterly destroyed my nails, they're just shorter than the actual nail bed. And I've been eating well and sleeping well and drinking water specifically to grow my nails back. I'm not a proponent of glue. Glue on the hairline, glue on your nails. In my opinion, it's risky at best. But from here, we're wanting to inspect our work and perfect it, right? Eyeshadow is looking bomb, right? Taking that line on the sides of the nose up into the brow, right? Checking that contour shape, right? Checking that, emphasize the chin, right? Highlight the chin to bring it forward, and then emphasize the sides, and then emphasize underneath the jaw line, because again, it does seem strange, but what we're trying to do, women or men, we're trying to create a smaller, more feminine face. We do that by shrinking the forehead with contour and by bringing certain things that might be dark, like the underneath of our eyes, forward with pale color, right? It's not to change your face, but it's to emphasize it in an interesting way. One confusing area for me is this temple area. I see so many people bringing their contour and their blush and all this color here, where I feel like it's supposed to be a 3. Contour on forehead to the jaw, to the cheekbone to the jaw, not, you know, all the way. I mean, I feel like you need to leave that little area bare to give more emphasis to your contour. That's just me. I'm not saying I'm an expert, not yet, but I'm working on it. So from here, if we are highlit and if we are contoured, right, we could stand to reinforce our contour. We could do it with this cream product from our friends at the Creme Shop. This is a great favorite of mine because maybe Bronzed Belle wasn't the darkest dark that we could ever imagine. Maybe we can, oh, we do have some new brushes though. Maybe this isn't the right moment for that, but where is our, we do have a favorite contour brush. And where is it? That's the question. You know, we're just trying to make it happen here. We're trying to make sure that we are doing the best combination of products to create a flattering and a delicious look here on a sunny, beautiful day. It's the 1st of February. And we cannot find, oh, I spoke too soon. Or did I? We've done some work to organize our tools better, but it's still a struggle to hunt down absolutely everything we need. But at least we didn't settle for something less. This is our favorite contour brush. We do have another brush, and I think it's a Morphe brush that has this general shape, but it kind of has a little bit of a curve at the bottom. But I do love this brush. It's only $1.50 from our friends at Daiso. So looking at our face, do we want to go medium? Do we want to go dark? Let's try medium, since our eyeshadow is not super dark. If it was nighttime, maybe we could go into the dark palette, but we're gonna go into the medium color, get that on our brush. Look at our cheek and our cheekbone, right? Not too far in, no farther in than the bottom of our eye, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, right? So many times people are tempted to make their contour go super low, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, right? And you can even feel where the middle of your ear is. You don't want it to come in too far, right? Same brush, bottom of the ear, right on that jawline. You want it to be a color that marries into the other colors that you've got on your face naturally and that you've used on your face. But boy, watching Drag Race definitely told me I should not be shy about this, because what it does is it limits your face. It doesn't seem like your face is dragging down your neck. It really cuts off your face at a certain point. So in a very subtle way, right? You're making your face shorter. I don't have a particularly huge face, but it's the stylization, right? Let men have big faces, right? And I mean men biologically and men gender-wise, right? If that's the choice you're making, like I play men on stage, I play men on television, right? You want that face bare, you want that face big, you want that, 5 o'clock shadow, all that stuff, because it makes you look masculine and strong and like a big person, right? But for us, we want that contrast, that hairline into shadow that makes our face look tiny and feminine, right? We want that contour, right? And we can fade it out, make it more of a gradient, right? But it contrasts with the brightness here and the brightness underneath, we can definitely do things to even make our contour stand out a little bit more strongly, right? Say we take that same, this is a great palette, by the way. Say we take that same cream foundation. That is not our color, right? We used it as a product to assist in priming our lids, right? Say we take that same brush that we cleaned off. We just get a little bit of this product on there, right? And sharpen up that contour. Just sharpen it up, right? Looking in our mirror from the middle of the ear down, right? Take that. And that's going to make that jaw contour and that cheek contour jump, right? Any excess, we can get it around the mouth and just fade that all together, right? We haven't even put foundation on yet, right? Other side, right? Sometimes when you get your hands on makeup product and it's the wrong color, or you just get it because it's a quality product and it's cheap, you hang on to it, right? Because you're developing your artistry. you're developing your comfort level with contrast, right? That you have brightness here on top of the cheekbone, brightness surrounding that contour that makes that contour really, really pop, right? Really, really, that bright temple area makes the contour above and below look really, really dramatic, right? This color is too pale, sure, but it's not as difficult to work with as a liquid, all right? It really does let you kind of spread it around and drag it around and really see what you've done. You can use the same bright color and hopefully the tip of this brush just to make that bright stripe on the nose. Bring that back to life, right? Get that into the nostril area, right? Erase those nostrils. Make sure the under eye area is bright. Now, we're not pleased with the texture on our face, but look, maybe today is a color play, right? We're erasing nostrils. Are we making our nose look thinner, or are we making our nose and our nostrils look more obvious, unclear, right? We're using this bright color to contrast with those darker lines on our nose, right? If we feel like we haven't made a strong enough nose contour, we can still use the same brush and get back into that deeper palette and, you know, and work it out, right? We observe as we go. It's just like painting a painting. We observe, we add, we take away, right? Using the corner of this brush, we could use a tiny brush, but let's see if we can rock with this. Very carefully draw these lines, right? It's the contrast that's really going to get us where we're trying to go, right? This brush is huge. Maybe it's not the right thing, but we've always got our fingers, right? Rub that finger off on the back of your hand. Get that contour color where you want it to go, right? Contour and highlight, making a very thin little Scott Barnes contouring Tati Westbrook, thin little pale line down the middle of your nose, right? Extending that brow. You know, see what's what. Are we contoured? Yes. Are we highlight? Yes. Do we have eyeshadow on? Yes. Did we put eyeliner on yet? No. Are we going to go in with some kind of foundation? Yes. Let's do it now because we're very hungry. But, you know, your makeup should be fun. Your makeup should be liberating for you. You know, you want to keep track of your clean and dirty brushes, right? You want to get whatever foundation you're going in with, and you want to think about, don't want to cancel out what you've done, but you do want to create some color unity, right? Just like this outfit is a nude, right? Contour, highlight, eyeshadow, we look like we're getting made up, right? We've got a little earring on. Let's rock with one little drop of this, one little drop, right? That's a very thick foundation. That seems to suggest that it's going to be full coverage. We get back into our sponge, right? Close up our product. You know, part of me wants to add water, but we shouldn't do that. We should press our silicone sponge into the product. Get a mirror. What are we trying to do? We're trying to blur the lines between our contour and our highlight, right? So that we're not having harsh, what is it? Contrast, right? We want some contrast to show, but we don't want it to be crazy. We don't want it to look like circles and obvious and all that, right? We can get this product on, you know, spread it around, put it into the pale places, get it onto the edge of the dark, right? and stipple it, just like a painting by Seurat, right? He painted by having dots. We're combining these lines and these dots and all these different products, and we're creating layers where hopefully what we put underneath in terms of contour and highlight will show through. Are we restoring human color? It looks like it, right? Get a little down onto the neck. We want to be able to blend, right? That 3 still shows up, but we're putting a little dainty layer of a product that's in a color somewhere between our contour and our highlight color, right? So that we're not utterly clown looking, but that we've created some kind of visual unity with this more yellow, more close to our skin tone color, right? And if we lose anything, we can also add another layer of powder to re-emphasize the contour with bronzer, to re-emphasize the cheekbone with blush. Look how pretty that looks. Look at that eyeshadow. Look how we blended away the harsh contrast of the contour and highlight. We've emphasized that jawline, right? We could add an eyeliner and a lip and be done and still look made up and pretty, right? It's a lot of product, but we're not wanting it to look like a lot of product. We don't want it to look like, you know, such a severe amount of makeup. We don't want any colors on our face that don't look natural. We want to use the silicone sponge, which is quite flexible, to bounce out any harsh lines, bounce out any super pale craziness, bounce out any super dark craziness. And if things go utterly awry, we have our what? Damp beauty sponge at the ready to bounce out and tap out anything that's a little too wild, anything that's a little too, you know, crazy, right? Rub in any places that look too crazy, but I'm loving this inner corner shimmer, and I'm loving the way that just that dark eyeshadow on the outer edge of our lids lifts the eye and almost suggests a lash. We lost a few lashes, truth be told, to those false eyelashes we were rocking most of January, but we soldiered through it. And, you know, just like we soldiered through this pale cream foundation stick from Maybelline, I'm not mad. I think we could add an eyeliner and a lip, maybe even a blush, and be in a very happy place, right? Let's go for some sort of cream, a cream blush. Caribbean, which is a super saturated color from our friends at e.l.f. Let's get into the same sponge. We use a sponge instead of our finger. You know, we try not to go completely crazy, but what we want to do is get color payoff, right? There it is on the sponge, right? Look at our cheek. Look at our cheek. Feel that bone. Dance a little across the nose, right? Seal it up. That's probably going to be more than enough for us to be blushed, right? Think about the shape. Think about emphasizing that cheekbone. In the old days, you know, we can use different edges of the sponge to blend and not add more color. Other side, blend, emphasize that cheekbone. But in the old days, they called it draping. They only did their, what do you call it? They only did their contouring with blush, right? That Duran Duran album cover music video moment, right? The edge of this sponge is still depositing product where I don't want it to. I love it, but I might have to let it go. Do I look like I've been out in the sun? I think so. You know, some people say put your blush above your, above the arch of your brow. Some people say put it on top of your forehead, wherever you think it suggests sun, right? You can put some on your chin, right? Just using whatever's left on that sponge. Pretty, subtle. Do we need more bronzer? I don't think so. I think that right now we need an eyeliner and we need a lip liner. And I think that's going to put us in a very good place. So here's a Wet n Wild Breakup Proof. Here's a NYX Epic Ink Liner. Wet n Wild. Here's, I don't know what, LA Girl. Do we want a liquid liner? Here's a Lancome Noir. We've been disappointed by this brand before, but let's give it a whirl. And if it craps out, we'll do something else. You know, I see people sticking their products and their brushes in their mouth, and I just want to scream. Okay, so hooded eye. Look at your eye. Straight in the mirror, look at where that crease starts. Make a line. All right, very carefully thicken up that line. But you're wanting to come straight out from the eye, not up, because that's where the craziness happens with the hooded eye, right? You can have length on your wing, but it's not going to be shaped the way it would for someone who doesn't have a hooded eye. So other side, looking at your eye, straight on. Looking at where that fold happens, make a shape and bring it in. Got some on our lower lash line. That's okay. You know, we want it to be symmetrical, and we do our best. I do like this wing better because it's finer. This one got a little bit thick. So in order to make them match, I think we need to add volume at the top. But again, wanting to extend the eye, but not in an upward motion, we want to do it in a way that gives length to the eye, because a hooded eye person doesn't have that clear real estate going up. We want a bigger eye, we want an extended eye, but we don't want it to be, you know, something that looks, sorry, amateurish. But I'm loving this shadow. I only wish I had somewhere to go to show it off. This is a Lancome liner. I don't hate it. It's not the juiciest, you know, but this eyeliner got more of a bat wing shape, right? Line up and out. And this one seems to have gone more in a down direction, right? I'm working on the left side as opposed to the right. But you know, look, it's makeup. I think this one looks more flattering, right? It goes down below where my eye creases and out. And this one does the same thing, but then I kind of created some volume on top of it. Anyway, inner corner. It's not the juiciest liner, but try to make something happen in the inner corner. You know, I think some of the other products are better because they're thicker and they'll lay on top of shadow in a more, in a more stark way. We messed up. We got it up on our eyeshadow. Maybe we can use a brush to kind of get it down out of our shadow, or at least drag it down so it's not so bad. But you know, things happen with makeup. Our eyes are definitely emphasized. I definitely think it's super pretty. We definitely put on some eyeliner, and I love the light here. I think it looks really, really nice. So from here, we should put our eyeliner back, put it upside down to hopefully make it juicier, and get into some kind of lip liner, right? Where are you, lip liners? Where have you gone? Those are eyeliners. Lip liner wise, these might be our lip liners. We could get into some kind of brown. What is this? Hover lip pencil. A brown. Maybe a brown from our friend Iman, Espresso. I think that sounds right. It might be a little bit deep, but we're trying to rock out and get our look all the way together. You know, because we do have a shopping haul that we've been trying to plot to do for a few days. So our lips are moisturized, believe it or not. We just got some foundation and whatnot on them. All right, you want to emphasize the sides. I'm not really an overliner. I also don't do that thing where you draw brown, like a mushy brown line around your mouth with contour. I don't understand. I don't need it, but you know. Brown eyeliner just looks, it looks so like exciting. Draw the X that emphasizes the vulgar Cupid's bow. Line up the middle. And what's great about this is it really shows. This isn't some, you know, liner for a paler person. This is definitely a woman of color liner, and it definitely does the job, right? There are all those people talking about use your lip liner or even your brow pencil to line your lips and contour your nose and all of that. And we might get into that. We might experiment with that. But from here, I got these terrible lipsticks that I can't even tell what they are, because as soon as I bought them from Target for $6.24, the applicators just disappointed, right? A little doe foot. Maybe let's try to see what this is all about here today. So it seems like it's a liquid lip. It's not a lipstick, but it seems sort of sheer, which is good, actually. All right. So we're not erasing our liner. We're just putting a lip-like color over it, because all these lines help give structure. We're not trying to rub it away either. This is a color called I Create. Is that what I'm doing? Am I creating? I think so. I don't hate this. Now, the kicker is, now that your liquid lip is on, right? You can rub your lips together, give you that nice gradient, right? It's looking emphasized, it's looking strong, right? What I was trying to say is that my other color of this that's called I Rule, when I opened it, the applicator fell off. What to do? Do I return it? And this is more of a blue. Like I have tones of more like pinky, kind of, you know, coral, but I also have tones of blue in my lips for some reason. So I think it can really pop to have either of those colors just sort of like on display in your makeup. So from here, you could stay dry. The makeup artist who did my makeup in Glam by Iggy, he left a dry lip. He said it just wasn't modern to have all that super sticky gloss. And I agree. But if we have a shimmer on the eye, are we cheating ourselves not to go for one of these, you know, NYX butter glosses? This is butterscotch. Let's look before. Are we camera ready? I think so. Is there enough light on my face? Can you see what I've done? Can you see that pretty inner eye shimmer? Can you see that contour and how I've sharpened up my jaw and brought this non-existent chin forward? Maybe the front camera isn't giving you all of the nose contour magic, but I'm looking in the mirror and it is looking rather nice. So digging into the butterscotch butter gloss, right? Dabbing it in the center of the lip, right? That will make the lips look even more luscious. If we added a fake lash, if we added a mascara, could that make this look even more enhanced if we did our hair? That might look even more flattering, but do you see what I'm saying? Like keeping the eye light instead of dark, right? Adding a black liquid liner, but we could have gone brown, honestly. We have it. We have this LA Colors brown liner, right? That could have looked even more subtle. And these chocolatey lips with that espresso lip liner, and then adding this L'Oreal. It doesn't even really have an explanation on it, but it is like a liquid lip color. Expensive for the applicators to be dodgy, but nice color nonetheless. And you know, adding this butter gloss, you know, you got to keep a range of butter gloss colors depending on your mood. I'm not mad. Are you mad? I think it looks spectacular without being too much. Now, do we need to do more to our brows? Should we give this product another whirl? See if it's gonna add more shape and color. Hold on. Shape and color here on the brow. Is there enough balance, right? That's part of the issue. We brushed our brows up, we put that product into it, we got that super pale primer in place, right? Hair-like strokes. Does that make it better? Hair-like strokes. You know, this might not be the perfect combo of eye brow emphasizing product. It doesn't leave me with a skin-like cast. It definitely has color payoff for contrast, but you know, I'm feeling like I maybe, you know, kind of muddied the message that my eyebrows want to send. You definitely don't want to go darker with your eyebrow pencil, but some things look more realistic than others, and sometimes a powder, like an eyebrow powder, like this e.l.f. eyebrow kit, which is more like a shadow palette, paler and more in a darker tone that's not black. This is medium. That can enhance your brow without it looking like, you know, Groucho Marx or someone who works in a discount store. No shade, just people who are in a hurry to do their makeup sometimes do things that are geometrical. But we've got that arch emphasized, we've got those brows lifted, we've got the eye makeup and the cheek and the contour all lifting. We've got that jawline contoured. I think maybe this camera or my technique isn't giving us all the nose contour magic that we could be enjoying. Does that mean that it's time to take some kind of brown powder or a bronzer product and re-emphasize the nose contour? We certainly have this Physicians Formula. Or do we let it live today? Maybe what we'll do next time is use smaller brushes to really draw on lines, or maybe even get into this eyebrow pencil contour moment. But you know, I'm not unhappy with my nose. I'm not unhappy with the way this makeup looks. You know, we could add a finishing spray, if not a setting spray. We're not going anywhere. We still have this unused Jeffree Star Morphe setting spray. Now what have I done? Shove it all back in the organization, but I definitely think we look better than we did. And that's a plus. If our eyeshadow is pretty and our eyeliner isn't an exact match, right? The eyebrows are cousins, not twins. The eyeliner is cousins, not twins. I think that we've still managed to create something that's flattering that makes us look more sophisticated. Um, and maybe we'll move on to our haul and making a salad and eating and getting to the gym, and then we have to get out and do some other stuff. But you know, I do think that this brush cleaning gadget is a plus. It does seem to take out some brush fibers, and you know, we didn't end up using our beauty blender, although maybe we could have to calm down the texture in these in this cream foundation element that kind of left texture that wasn't skin-like, right? Maybe that could have lifted some of it off or given it a more skin-like finish. But I'm looking at myself in one of the mirrors in front of me, and I think I look stylized and pretty. The dark areas are lightened, the jawline is stronger. That's definitely something that I need because I don't have a very strong jaw. But you know, our lighting combination, even with this very bright outside, I think it looks good. What do you think? I look forward to your feedback. You know, is it enough makeup? Do I need a lash? Do I need to have mascara? But I'm not mad at this combination of shadows. Highly recommend. And you know, we're gonna keep experimenting and using our stash. You know, it's 2022. We may not need to buy anything new. I think a conservative amount of this foundation was pretty and helped us marry our contour and highlight shades together. And that's exactly what you want. You want it to live together and vibe on your face in a way where people turn their head and say, that's an attractive person. Even more attractive than what you looked like before, right? Nobody is ugly, but it's about wearing the heck out of makeup. That's what we're trying to do on my channel. We're trying to practice and get to the point where we know and we're in control of what we're doing, so that if we need to be in a wedding scene or playing a cop or, you know, being a lawyer or a criminal, that we can do it right. If we're getting arrested at the club, if we're a prostitute, which we have been, you know, we want to have, you know, the powers at our command so that we work with the architecture of our eyes and our face and our lips and do something pretty, and wear clothing that doesn't take away or distract with pattern and too much color, but that sets us off in a way that we can be successful and that we can be what? Camera ready. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we have the energy to do this haul. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. How do I turn this off? Huh. Wow. Okay, there we go. All right.